Good afternoon. Simple Life Philosophy here. I'm tired today. I'm worn out. And I almost didn't make a video, but I've been pretty consistent for about 10, 11 weeks now. And I didn't want to let the algorithm down. Wouldn't be letting too many people down because I don't have too many followers yet. But, it made me kind of think of a topic to talk about. So today I'm going to talk about persistence and persisting. And one of my favorite quotes of all time, in fact, my dad used to have it hanging on his refrigerator. I think he got it out of a 365 days quote calendar type thing, the old kind where you used to peel them off day by day. They would have a little quote on them. And that quote is by John Quincy Adams, who was the son of John Adams, one of the founding fathers. And John Quincy Adams, he ran for president multiple times and lost. He lost every time. He never got to be president. Although I think he would have made a good president. I think he was kind of an early abolitionist, and he had some pretty strong qualities. Anyway, the quote says something along the lines of, courage and perseverance have a magic talisman before which obstacles disappear and vanish into air. And he had that hanging, my dad had that hanging on his refrigerator so that every morning and every night we would see it when we were getting water or juice or, making dinner, whatever we were doing around the refrigerator. And it stuck with me. It's stuck with me. It's persisted for all these years. And perseverance is a slightly different word than persistence, but they essentially have the same meaning, and they sound the same, and their meaning is very similar. And I've even mistaken the quote before for saying persistence instead of perseverance. And, you can see the ladder out there. I was working on some stuff in my bathroom earlier today. And man, I wanted to quit. I usually record these on Sundays, these videos. And it's Sunday, and I had a long week. And I got another week, there's another week coming right around the bend here. And I wanted to just relax and not do anything and take it easy for once. But this little voice inside of me kept saying that the more you persist, the more that life and obstacles will fall out of your way. And it kept saying that life cannot resist somebody who is consistently persistent. And so I persisted, and I finished the stuff that I needed to in my bathroom, fixing it up just a little bit, recaulking the tub, and working on fixing the vent. The vent motor went out. I ordered a new one. I haven't gotten it in yet, but it'll be, all I got to do is just throw it in there when it gets here, wire, attach the wires and throw it in there. So it's just a few minutes of a job. But like I said, I wanted to quit. And, this is something that I've learned throughout my life, that if you can be persistent consistently, there are very few obstacles that will withstand that. Be like water eroding the shore. Wave after wave, just keep coming back and hitting a little bit each time. And eventually things will start to break down. And I even kind of use this method when I'm reading a book. You start a book and you're like, wow, I got 200 pages here, I got 300 pages, I got 1,000 pages I got to read here. I don't know how I'm going to do it. But what I'll do is I'll set myself up a habit where I'll read 5 or 10 pages a day. And that takes what, 10, 15 minutes, something like that. So it's easy and it's bite-sized, and it's a bite-sized chunk that you can just take out of your day, and it really doesn't cost you much. But then if you do that for 10, 20 days, pretty soon you've either finished the book or you're a good ways into it. And you've persisted. And a couple of those days you might not want to read, you might skip it. And a couple of those days you might want to read extra, and you're really in the mood. Or you've gotten to a really interesting part of the book and you just keep rolling. And slowly but surely the book starts to erode. And next thing you know, you're closing that book and you're done with it. And that method actually even works better with audiobooks, because if you listen to 10, 15, 20, 30 minutes a day, maybe if you listen in your car when you're driving to and from work or to and from the gym, do that for a couple days, and then you may even finish a book, depending on how long it is. And audiobooks usually go faster. Now, audiobooks, I find that I have less comprehension if I do audiobooks. If I actually read the material, my comprehension is higher and my retention is higher. But if it's like a fiction or something that's not quite as important to me, then I'll do the audiobook version, and then I can finish it much quicker. And then I still get that endorphin rush of, okay, I finished another book and I've read that book now, so I can put it to the side, I can take whatever works from it and apply it to my life. But you don't have to spend all of that time reading it page by page as you do with some books. And so, those are some methods of persistence you can use to increase your productivity and achieve more in your life. And persistence is small. It doesn't have to be big. In fact, it's similar to consistency. It's showing up a little bit, even when you don't want to, and just continuing to be the waves that lap that shore and erode away the sands of trouble that are in the way. Erode away the rock of trouble that's in your way, like a river would. Just little bit, by sticking with something. And so persistence doesn't have to be big. It can be a little each day. And that little each day will take you a long way. Being persistent. Like I said, there are very few obstacles in your life that if you are persistent on daily will withhold you or withstand you. And those things that withstand you, they can be defeated with persistence too. It may take longer, it may take more persistence, it may take more days of making it a habit of being persistent, but almost every single obstacle that you're going to run into, persistence can help you to destroy that obstacle and move through that obstacle and achieve what it is you're trying to achieve. Most people do not have the gumption and the wherewithal to stay that persistent. Most people will give up when the going gets tough. But the old saying, when the going gets tough, the tough get going. And there's another similar saying that gets tossed around a lot, which I really, really like, and that's, tough times don't last, but tough people do. And both of those kind of go back to that persistence. Persistence through tough obstacles. 90% of the tough obstacles that you run into, if you can apply persistence for 2 weeks, if you can apply persistence for a month and a half, they're gonna start to wither and look smaller, and you're gonna build up the muscle to be able to handle them. And that will make you stronger when the next obstacle comes up. And that's kind of a theme here on this channel of building up the muscle within yourself to achieve more, to give more, by being consistent, by being persistent, by being trustworthy, by taking a positive attitude into things, by going even when you don't want to. And these things will help you develop strength and character, and they will help you achieve more, and they will help you build things that last longer, like relationships and friendships and communities and a spiritual life, a better spiritual life where you have less shame and less guilt because you've behaved positively and strongly and done your best. So stay persistent when times are tough. Even when you don't want to, just give it a little more. Push your edge. Push your edge, as they say. Just give a little more and see if you can get it done. And if you get it done, you'll get that endorphin rush of completing a task. And you can get positively addicted to that, so that in the future you want to be more of a completionist, where you start something and you finish it to the end. So you get positively addicted to this endorphin and dopamine cycle in a positive way, where you get things done and you're useful, rather than being addicted to them from getting them from mindless amusements, or even worse, a chemical addiction of some kind. So stay persistent. Whatever you're going through, whatever you're working on, whatever you got going, stay persistent, and it'll help you. It'll build your character. It'll make you a stronger person. It'll make people trust you more. Tell me down below what you think of being persistent. You got some good quotes on persistence? Have you been persistent in a tough situation and it turned out to your best interest? Like and subscribe. Come back next week. I'm going to keep making these. God bless.